Welcome. Today we're going to learn how to evaluate algebraic expressions. Last class we learned how to write them, and now we're going to take that knowledge, we're going to write and then evaluate them. Evaluating expressions is a lot like simplifying expressions.
We're going out, we're flying high, we're gonna take over the night, and don't even ask us why. Flying at the speed of light, try to catch us if you can. They always said that it was fight or flight, so we put our fists down and we ran.
Thanks for setting this up, Michael. It was a solid effort.
Let's begin. Let's start off with some jokes. Hello? It's coming in the door. April Fools! And the bucket of water falls on his head. The guy with the bucket of water on his head says, "That was extremely unoriginal." The guy who threw the bucket of water on his head says, "Maybe I'm the fool." "I think I have an illness," says the patient. "What are your symptoms?" says the doctor. "I stay up all night dancing." "Seems like you've got a case of the boogie fever." Ha ha ha. "It's fatal." It's time for our daily review. Use an integer to describe the situation. I encourage you to pause the video and try this on your own. $673 in debt. In debt means minus, so it's going to be a negative 673. 873 in savings. In savings. Savings means to add, or in this case, it's a positive 873. Remember, 800 plus 873 is the same thing as saying 873. Let's go on to number 2. Write an expression to represent the quotient of 12. The quotient of 12 increased by a number divided by 3. So we have 12. Quotient means Well, if you don't know, you can look back at our notes from the other day. Quotient means divide. Before I do that, it says increased by 3, and then divided by, again, 3. Oh, a number, so that should just be x there, not a number. So 12 plus x divided by 3. If you look at your number in Math and the Words paper, you can see that increase by means add. So our answer is 12 plus x divided by 3. Let's take a look at the next question. Again, feel free to pause the video and try this on your own if you'd like. So we're looking at the volume of this rectangular prism here. It looks a lot like a cube, but the dimensions aren't the same. So what we can do is use length times width times height. I'll start out by multiplying 4 times 3 and 3/4. So to find the volume, again, we need to do length times width times height. So I'll start off by multiplying two numbers together. 3 times 4. So I'll make this into an improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 3 is 15. Next, I'll make my denominator 4. And I'll write 4 as a fraction as 4 over 1. Next, I'll multiply 4 times 15. And actually, before I do that, I can cross simplify to get 15. Next, I'll multiply 5 times 5 and 1/3. 5 and 1/3 is the same thing as 16 over 3. I can write 15 as 15 over 1. Now I could cross simplify by dividing both by 3. Five times 16 is 80. So my answer is 80 inches cubed. Remember, when we're talking about volume, we want to make sure we cube our unit of measurement. That's going to be it for our daily review. Let's review some vocabulary before we start. Algebraic expression. Numbers, symbols, and operators such as pluses and times together that show the value of something. So if we were looking at an algebraic expression, we can say this part right here is an algebraic expression. Do you know what you'd call this entire thing here? It's an equation. Let's keep going. A variable is a symbol for a number we don't know yet. It is usually marked with the letter X or Y. Here is an X. That's our variable. A constant. In algebra, a constant is a number on its own, or sometimes a letter, such as A, B, or C, to stand for a fixed number. Constants are consistent. They're going to be the same. Constant. 7 and 5 are constants. And in this case, our numbers by themselves are constants. So let's practice that a little bit. Let's say I have 7 minus 5x equals 10x. What are my constants in this equation here? My constants in this case would be 7. And then my variables would be, do you know? Minus 5x and 10x. Let's do another one. 7 plus 7x plus 25 plus 32x plus 7x. Can you identify what all the variables are in this expression? Well, all the variables would be here. Anything with a letter is a variable. These are also called, so the letter is the variable, and this is actually, this whole thing here is called the coefficient. Okay, so what are my constants? 25. Let's do some notebook practice. I encourage you to pause the video and try these on your own. The first question, x plus 9 where x equals 15. I'm going to take my 15 and put it in for x. X 15 plus 9 is 24. Let's do another one. 6k where k equals 1/3. Every place I see a k, I'm going to replace with 1/3. It's important to understand that I need to put in parentheses. It's important to know I need to put in parentheses when I replace a letter with a number. So I could write this as 6/1, and parentheses means to multiply, so I get 6/3, which is equal to 2. X minus 4, parentheses, 5, where x equals 3. So all of our 3's go in for x. Again, I encourage you to pause the video and try this on your own. 3 minus 4, like that. Now I can simplify within parentheses to get minus 1 times 5. My answer is minus 5. Next question. 4 parentheses x minus 4, where x is equal to 7. Again, I replace my letter with a number. I simplify inside of parentheses. 4 times 3 is 12. Number 5. W is 6, x is 5, and y is minus 3. 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 plus a negative 3 is equal to minus 2. Number 6. X squared minus x. I'll take 20 and plug it in for x. Notice how I have two x's in this expression. So I'll replace the x with also a 20 here. 20 squared is the same thing as saying 20 times 20, which is 400. 400 minus 20 is equal to 380. The expression 1/8 C plus 32 gives the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit for a given temperature in degrees Celsius C. Find the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit that is equivalent to 30 degrees. So I'll start off, pause the video and try this on your own. So every place I see is C, I'm going to replace it with 30. So now I have 1.8 times 30. So now I get 54. 54 plus 32 is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. The area of a triangular sail is given by the expression half base times height, where b is the length of the base and h is the height. What is the area of the triangular sail in a model sailboat when b is equal to 12 and h is equal to 7? So I know that I have a half. B stands for 12, and H stands for 7. I'll start off by multiplying 12 times 7 to get 84. Now I have a half times 84. I know that multiplying by a half is the same thing as dividing by 2. So I can do 2 divided by 84 to get 42. So what is the area of the triangular sail in the model boat when the B is 12 and the H is 7? 42. The volume of a pyramid with the square base is given by the expression 1/3 s squared h, where s is the length of the side of the base and h is the height. Find the volume of the pyramid with the square base side length of 24 feet and a height of 30. So we have here 1/3 with our side being 24 and our height being 30. Okay. So now we have our expression set up. We can go ahead and simplify. I know that 24 squared is the same thing as saying 24 times 24, and that is 576. So now I have 576 times 30 divided by 1/3. I know that 576 times 30 is equal to 17,280. Finally, I know that 1/3 is the same thing, multiplying by 1/3 is the same thing as dividing by 3. 3 goes into 1, doesn't work. If you get stuck, you back up the truck. You get 3 times 6, which is 18. That's too much. So I've got to make this a 5. And I make this into a 15. Get a remainder of 2, bring down my 2. I get 22. 3 goes into 22 7 times, I get 21. 3 goes into 18 6 times, I get 18. 3 goes into 0 0 times, I get 500. 5,760. It's been a long day. So it's the volume, and we're talking about, not sure what kind of, we're talking about feet here, so feet cubed. So today we learned how to evaluate algebraic expressions. Thank you for tuning in.